members of council and your representatives, thank you so much for convening this hearing on this important issue and on the work that we are doing. We appreciate it. We're here because November was a turning point for me. It was just weeks after I had attended the funeral of a 15-year-old boy who was shot in the head in South Philadelphia. He was a friend of my son. And I watched my son grieve, and I watched his classmates grieve, and I watched his teachers grieve, and I grieved, and I was angry, and I was hurt. And I felt like we had to do something, because as I looked at that boy in that casket, I realized that that boy could have been my son. Just weeks after I decided that I would call on the community to do something about the senseless violence that was taking our children and numbing our senses and killing our compassion, I learned that another 16-year-old boy had shot 5 fellow students at a high school in California. And it was interesting because 2 of those students died. They were just 16 and 14 years old. Now, my heart went out to the families of those children, and my prayers were with that community because I knew it would take time for that wound to heal.
I'm intrigued by your 12-week transformational course. Can you elaborate and go a little deeper on that?
Yes, I can. So one of the things that we realized, because we just came together and said, look, we're going to do something. We're going to mentor men. We're going to help them. And we began to meet. And what we found over the course of the last few months was that if we did not put a curriculum in place, then we would have people going in circles. That this 12-week curriculum would consist of this. Why are we here? And we want people to know that we're volunteering to do this. And ain't nobody getting paid. We're not here to have you sign a sheet and every time you put your name on the sheet, we get paid. It's not about that. We want them to know that we are here because we want them to change their lives. Period. So that's the first week. The second week is really about criminal justice, and it is about letting them know how someone else got out of the criminal justice system. What we found is that the best way for us to get a steady stream of people is for us to get people referred to us pre-trial, which is why we went to the Defenders Association, why we're working with the First Judicial District. Our only condition for them was this, that you don't put nobody in jail because they didn't come to see us. We don't want to be any part of putting people in jail. There's enough of that. We want to be a carrot and not a stick. So that's the second week. Having someone present to them how they got out of the criminal justice system so that they can know how they can get out as well. Week 3 is character building. Because you need character. We can help you get a job. You need character to keep it. Right? So that's the third week. Week 4 is goal setting. What is it that you want to do with your life? What are your conflict resolution? Because many people get into gun violence because they are in a conflict and they don't know how to handle it. Nobody's ever told them you can talk your way out of a conflict. You can negotiate your way out of a conflict. You can work your way out of a conflict. You don't have to pull out a gun and shoot somebody. So conflict resolution is week 5. Week 6 is job readiness, because by the time you've gone through those things, you've learned about conflict, you've learned about goal setting, you've learned about how somebody else got out of the criminal justice system. Well, now you're ready to actually work and be serious about it. Right? So job readiness is week 6. Week 7 is financial literacy. Week 8 is mental health. Because what we are dealing with in our community is people who are dealing with mental health issues and don't know it. We have to deal with the trauma that our people are dealing with. Week 9 is physical health, because you ain't going to be here if you keep eating all that chicken. Week 10 is life skills. How do you live on your own? How do you take care of yourself and a family? What are the things that you need to do in day-to-day life in order to succeed? Week 11 is education, dealing with people who don't have high school diplomas. As our former DA told me, most of the people who get involved in gun violence, either as perpetrators or as victims, are high school dropouts. That's the common denominator more than race. It's the fact that they don't have education. And then week 12 is parenting, because many of us have children, And we want to be fathers, but we don't know how.
Violence took him off this planet. My son had 5 children that won't have experience of a loving and caring father. My son was killed on September the 8th, 2018 at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. He was going to his sister's house. They ambushed him and waiting for him, shot him once in the right temple, once in the right chin, and once in the chest. When I get to the house, my son's blood, now that I know his brain was on the pavement. So I'm not here philosophically. I'm not here trying to impress nobody. I'm not here for but one reason. Because I have a personal experience and a personal investment in stopping this murder and mayhem that we as citizens of Philadelphia have experienced. Not no BS, and an honest decision, an honest way of working together. We are all going to be held responsible for the next murder that takes place because we didn't do what we supposed to do. Now listen, I have a lot. Listen, I could have, and I tell this all honesty, I could be in a fetus position right now. I could go out right now and get some revenge if that's what I wanted to do. Okay? But something put it on my spirit, man, that I did not want another family, if possible, to have this experience. Go ahead and we can use the Guardian. We've been using the Guardian and she's been in our corner ever since. There's other ones, but at the end of the day, when you have people like that, man, that say, okay, let's work together, let's do this. And she's been one of our champions. Also, Solomon Jones is one of our champions. But the championness got to come from us, man. You guys up there, you guys had the power to do what y'all guys do. But if this meeting go and all we get is like vaporing and smoke blowing up our rear, it's just another one of them meetings.
Before I recognize Councilman Johnson, Brother Crawford, one of our mutual friends, I won't say his name, you know what I'm talking about. He lost not one, not two, but now 3 sons to gun violence.
His grandson.
His grandson, I'm
Just
sorry.
like his son.
All right? And so this is real. What is disturbing to me is something that you brought to my attention, and now we are having hearings on unsolved
That
murder.
little Elspeth War does. Community violence is not simple. Community violence is complex. It's easy to question why so many people are dying and killing in the street, and to simplify the issue into a matter of basic personal choice. Only by truly respecting our brothers and sisters' self-determination and by recognizing that their behavior serves a deeper purpose can we hope to truly inspire change in individuals, our families, and our communities.